Hello, greetings to everyone. It's almost summertime, and I had promised a snowball hair bow video, and this is going to be a two-part or two-video bow. And in this first video, we are going to make the actual snowball centerpiece for the hair bow, and then in the next video, part 2, we'll make the actual hair bow. Okay, and just real quick, I'll go ahead and show, even though this is not the hair bow video, this is an example of the bow that we are going to make, and I posted a picture of the actual bow we are going to make on Facebook, but I don't have it right now with me. But this is a Lisa Frank hair bow, and the bow is just like this. Okay, of course our centerpiece is going to be a snowball that we're making ourselves. You can see my little light up leopard cub here or whatever. I love Lisa Frank. Anyway, that's, remember the planner resins, that video that I did with the light up blingy lights. Just love it. Anyway, I haven't made a bow like this yet. It's about a medium size bow. You know, it's a little wider across, but it's not like one of those big huge southern bows that I've been making. Anyway, gorgeous ribbon. I've had this Lisa Frank ribbon for a long time. I got it from AliExpress, you know, one of the shops in China. But anyway, this is a requested bow that you know, several people have asked me to do, and so that will be in the next video, and I'll talk more about it when we start it. Okay, supplies for the snowball centerpiece. And by the way, this is the ribbon. And again, if you want to look at the picture on Facebook, this is the bow we're going to be making. Okay, and this is the ribbon. And I can, you know, once we get to that video, I'll leave the link to where you can get that particular ribbon. You will need a little styrofoam ball, and this one, let me measure, I mean, this is like an inch or so across. So when you're, you know, looking, you know, for your styrofoam balls, you know, this one is about an inch. You don't want the one that's smaller than this one or larger. I mean, unless you're going to make a, you know, a little bit larger bow, then, you know, it's totally up to you. But for our medium-sized bow, we are going to just use one that's about an inch. I got this one from Walmart. You know, there was a bag of styrofoam balls. I'm sure they have them at Hobby Lobby and other places, you know, in craft sections. Okay, you'll need just a styrofoam plate and some sponges to paint with, you know, whatever you prefer. I find these work really well with the paint and the styrofoam. Okay, your choice of paint. Now I got these. This is like an acrylic paint, a matte acrylic paint from Walmart. Okay, and I'm using 3 different colors to represent, you know, 3 different flavors, I guess, in the snowball. You don't necessarily have to, I guess, do 3 colors, but it looks really interesting. I like it. Anyway, these are in the craft section at Walmart. Not very expensive. You know, and the idea, of course, is to match the colors with your, you know, with the ribbon that you're using. Okay. I'm also using like a little, this actually came out of a nail kit or whatever, and I'm just going to stick my styrofoam ball on it so I don't have to touch it to paint it or whatever. Okay, but you could get a toothpick or you know, anything that you could just stick your styrofoam ball on top of. You know, I had a little pair of craft tweezers I used to use, you know, just whatever. Here's like a little bobby pin. You could just stick it on there. You know, you could find something acceptable. Okay, and then you need a cotton ball. If you don't have a cotton ball on hand, you know, a little piece of paper towel or whatever would work. We're just going to, you're not going to see this, we're just going to stuff it in the bottom part, which represents like the cone part of the snowball. I don't know, down here we call them snowballs. I know up north it's snow cones. Anyway, whatever your preference is. And sure, I'm forgetting something, but you need to get also a coordinating piece of 1.5 inch ribbon, grosgrain, you know, something that coordinates again with the colors in your you know, your bow that you're going to make. Okay, and it needs to be about 4 inches long. Okay, so and this is the color that I'm using. Again, you can see that picture on Facebook, you know, if you haven't seen it already. Okay, and then you'll need a glue gun and scissors. Okay, now we want to start with the snowball part of this, and it's real cute. I mean, you know, you can put it in any kind of craft, really. You know, if you're doing a wreath on a door or, you know, hair bows, whatever. It's really simple, it goes quick, and it's really cute. Okay, now decide which color, you know, you're going to put on what side. Okay, basically you're going to have 3 different colors, and so you know, whatever color you're going to start with, that's, you don't want to pour all of them at once because you don't want them to dry out. So I'm going to start with this lighter pink first, and it doesn't take much, so I'm just going to pour a little bit on my plate, and I can always get more if I need it. Don't want to be wasteful. Now I'm just kind of winging this. If you have, you know, a method to kind of separate, you know, it's just to do it yourself. It doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, so I just dip my sponge and I just kind of start on the right hand side, you know, kind of circling my way out, making sure you cover, you know, the entire area until you kind of, you know, get, and that's how I do it. I start like in the middle and then I circle and make my way, you know, to the outside. But like I said, you know, there's no real strict system for doing this. It's whatever you choose. And I did forget one thing. I'll talk about it in just a minute. It's not a big deal. It's, you know, optional. And then you just want to get, you know, get your paint all the way down here. Okay, and then I'm going to branch out a little bit further. Go a little bit more up here. Okay. I'm going to go a little bit more on the bottom. And like I said, it does not have to be divided up exactly evenly. Okay, and so I've got my first part done. Alright, and so then the next color I'm going to use for the middle part is going to be this kind of, you know, cool blue is what it's called. It's a little bit darker blue than what's in the, well, no, actually it isn't. That ribbon has some pretty dark blue in it. Okay, and I'm going to use my other sponge. And I like these sponges. I can just work with the corner part of it, but whatever, you know, if you want to use, you know, paintbrush, whatever, you know, this soaks up pretty good, so it's easy to work with. Okay, and so now I'm going to put my strip down the middle, and you want to be careful not to mix it, you know, with the pink if possible. It's kind of a little bit of, you know, tedious to cover it all up. and not mix the paints. Okay, so we're just spreading a strip down the middle to represent our second flavor. I guess this would be like a bubblegum flavor or a blueberry, whatever. This definitely makes me hungry for a snowball. We have tons of snowball stands around my area. I have one within walking distance. Usually has a line. Always has a line. Okay. And you know, when you're making hair bows, I guarantee you, you're not going to find this in a store anywhere. You know, no one else is going to have anything like this. They make, you know, really good gifts. And I probably need to add a little bit of pink back here. It's just, you know, it doesn't take long, but I guess if you're watching the video of it, it's a little bit tedious. Alright, and then I just kind of have that, you know, that strip of blue down the middle, and I'm going to very quickly cover in this pink over here. And like I said, it does not have to be perfect. You know, the basic idea is just to get 3 colors, and if they're not exactly even, no big deal at all. Alright, and my last color is like a dark pink. It's called Bright Magenta. Alright, and we're going to finish up with that color. And I'm just going to very quickly color in the last part of the styrofoam ball. I might need to spread a little bit more blue, I'll have to see. And a real quick way to dry this after you do it, I mean, if you know, if you're kind of in a hurry, or if you want to get it dried quickly so you can make your bow or whatever, is I have a little table fan that I use to dry, you know, when I stiffen my ribbon or whatever. And I need a little bit more. Now make sure you cover up all the white parts. And now I'm going to go back to my blue, because I think I could make my blue strip a little bit fatter. You know, it's just kind of your preference. I've never done like a sprinkle type snowball. Okay, and that looks pretty good to me. You know, it's basically getting all the little white parts, and see, there's our snowball. Cute, huh? Real cute. Okay, now I'm going to set this in front of my fan while we do the bottom part. Okay, so I'm just going to move this paint out of the way, and you know, you want to wash your brushes and whatever afterwards. Okay, now you might want a lighter also to just kind of heat seal the back of it, although you're not going to see it. But anyway, if you're a heat seal freak like I am, you know, you may want to get that. Okay, now the basic idea is to fold it up like this. Okay, I don't know if you saw me do that. You kind of want to fold it into a cone. Okay, so again, all I did was I just took this, okay, and then I just kind of brought these two pieces upwards like that. Okay, and the idea is to bring them together enough to where, you know, it's just a little bit of a, you know, a spot down here and it looks like a cone. Okay, if that makes sense. Okay, and you kind of have, you know, and this is, you know, you're not going to see this part because the styrofoam ball is going to be in there. Okay, so, and you can kind of roll it a little bit, and we're going to cut that excess off. Okay, and let me just get mine a little bit tighter. And you want to definitely leave enough room for your snowball. Okay, so that's what it should look like. Yeah, it's kind of like you sort of want these two peaks up here, you know, meeting, I guess, if you want. Now, you have this flap over here. So once you measure, you can kind of cut it off. And then, you know, you've got your cone. And then you want to get your glue gun and just sort of glue that flap down. And you can heat seal it first and then glue it. Like I said, it's going to be in the back and it's going to be glued down in the center of the bow, so, you know, you're not really going to see it. And if you want, you know, if you want your part down here to be a little bit wider, that's fine. You know, it's supposed to look like a cone, almost like an ice cream cone, but it's like a snowball cup, you know, those cups that they, you know, they use, the vendors use. Okay, so this is about what you should have, and I like to leave this back part up because it helps support the cone. Alright, so this is what, you know, basically what you have. Now, you want to get your cotton ball, or whatever you're going to use to stuff it. I use about half of a cotton ball. And you're basically just going to stuff it down in there. You probably use a whole cotton ball. And that way it fills up the cone, and you know, you don't have a flat, you know, surface. I mean, it just makes it more sturdy. Okay, and so you know, about half. If you want to put the whole thing, you could probably smash the whole thing down in there, but that's kind of good enough. So once you've gotten you know, the amount you want, and I'm just going to quickly heat seal this. It just bothers me when I see it fraying. Okay, now you just want to take your glue gun and just, you know, circle your glue down in here a little bit. You know, just put a little circle so that your cotton will stay. And then just stuff that cotton back down in there. Okay, and then you have your cone. Alright, now, once your styrofoam ball has dried, which it looks like mine has dried for the most part now, you can take it off the stick or whatever. Oh, mine's still a little bit wet, but that's alright. Then you want to take your glue gun, and what you're going to do is put some glue back here, or on the bottom of the ball, and then you just kind of stuff it, centering, you know, the three colors. And this is basically, you know, what you have. And then you have this flap back here, and let me just wipe some of this paint off because it wasn't completely dry. Alright, now you have this flap in the back. You might want to stuff a little glue down there as well to make it sturdy. Just a little bit, you don't need much. You could put it on beforehand too. Okay, I kind of jumped the gun on how dry it was. Okay, so there's your, there's your snowball. That's what you have. Very simple. Now, to further embellish it, and I forgot to mention this, you can add a little bow to the front of it. Okay. And I mean, you can use like a, a resin bow, like a sparkly bow, or whatever. I have the satin bow, and it's got some tails on it. And I think the bow I used in the picture that I put on Facebook was like a bow tie, a pink bow tie like this. But whatever, it's totally up to you. Okay, so I'm just going to glue. This is a light pink, and there is some light pink in the ribbon. Okay, there's so many colors in it, it was hard to coordinate all of them. Alright, and that's what you have. There's your little snowball. Like I said, very simple. And the next tutorial we're going to do, this is going to be our centerpiece. So in other words, instead of the little blinky line right there, the snowball's going to fit. And all you have to do is go to the Facebook page to see the bow. I'd already posted a picture of it. But this is it. This is our little centerpiece. And so if you'll go to the next video, as soon as I upload it, you can see how we do the bow, and then we're going to put it all together. Great. Okay, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.